What if losing everything became the very reason you gained it all back? What if your darkest moment turned into the foundation of your greatest victory? This is not just another story about money or fame. It's about hitting rock bottom, facing rejection, feeling hopeless, and still finding the strength to rise again. Because deep down, every American carries one dream. The dream to stand tall, to win big, and to prove that no matter how many times life knocks us down, we can always get back up. And today, you're about to witness a journey that will remind you why the American dream is still alive, still powerful, and still within your reach. Stay with us till the end, because this story might just change the way you see your own life. And don't forget, you're watching Legend Made here, where real stories turn into timeless inspiration. Subscribe now, because your legend is waiting to be written. Every success story begins with a chapter no one wants to live through. For our protagonist, that chapter was brutal. He had dreams, big dreams, of building something meaningful, of living a life his parents could be proud of. But reality was cruel. After losing his job, bills piled up faster than he could count. Nights were spent staring at the ceiling, wondering how everything slipped away so fast. There were days when the fridge was empty, when the rent notice on the door felt like a countdown to disaster. Friends stopped answering calls. Family members whispered, maybe he just isn't cut out for success. That silence, that judgment, it cut deeper than poverty itself. Rock bottom isn't just about being broke. It's about feeling invisible. It's standing in a crowded street, yet feeling like the world has moved on without you. He walked miles looking for opportunities, only to hear the same two words, not qualified. And yet in those moments of despair, a quiet fire burned inside him. A question kept repeating in his mind. Is this really how my story ends? Or could this pain be the beginning of something greater? This was the valley of struggle, the part no one glorifies, but the foundation every true legend is built on. Sometimes all it takes is a single moment, one spark that lights up the darkest tunnel. For him, that moment came when he overheard two strangers talking in a coffee shop. One of them said, "Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the training ground for it." Those words hit him like lightning. For weeks, he had been drowning in self-doubt, convinced that his failures defined him. But in that instant, something shifted. He realized he had been measuring his life by everything he had lost, instead of everything he could still create. The next morning, he made a decision. No more waiting, no more blaming, no more excuses. He wrote down 3 simple rules for himself: discipline, consistency, and courage. Even if he started small, he would keep moving forward. It wasn't easy. He picked up odd jobs, learned new skills through free online courses, and forced himself to network with people who were where he wanted to be. Rejections still came, but instead of breaking him, they built him. This was no longer about just surviving. It was about taking control. For the first time, he saw his failures not as a dead end, but as stepping stones. And that decision, that one powerful shift in mindset, became the seed of a comeback that no one saw coming. The climb was never glamorous. There were no flashing lights, no cheering crowds, no overnight miracles. Just long days, short nights, and a stubborn refusal to quit. At first, he started small. A part-time gig here, a freelance job there. The money wasn't much, but it gave him something far more valuable: momentum. Every dollar he earned reminded him that progress, no matter how small, was still progress. He developed a new routine: wake up before sunrise, study skills others ignored, and dedicate at least 1 hour each day to building something of his own. Whether it was learning about business, practicing communication, or simply writing down goals, discipline became his weapon. But the climb wasn't smooth. There were setbacks, deals that fell apart, clients who disappeared without paying, and days when doubt crept back in. Yet this time he didn't collapse. Each rejection became a lesson. Each failure, a stepping stone. Instead of asking, "Why me?" he began asking, "What can I learn from this?" And slowly, opportunities appeared. A small online project turned into consistent income. A mentor he met at a community event opened doors to connections he never thought possible. His confidence grew, not because life got easier, but because he got stronger. People began to notice the change. Friends who once doubted him now asked for advice. Family members who had whispered in disappointment started speaking with pride. The climb wasn't about racing to the top. It was about becoming the kind of person who could stay there once he arrived. With every step forward, he wasn't just earning money. He was earning character, resilience, and belief. And then, after years of sleepless nights and relentless effort, it happened. The breakthrough. What started as a small project finally exploded into something bigger than he ever imagined. One contract turned into 10. One satisfied client became 100. Within months, his income tripled, and for the first time in years, he didn't just survive, he thrived. But the success wasn't only financial. It was emotional. It was standing in the very place where people once doubted him and proving them wrong, not with words, but with results. He remembered the nights of hunger, the shame of eviction notices, the endless no's. Now those memories became fuel, not scars. From sleeping in his car to signing his first six-figure deal, from being ignored to being invited as a guest speaker, his story was no longer just about him. It became a symbol of possibility for everyone still trapped in their own struggle. Success wasn't about riches alone. It was about freedom. Freedom to choose, to dream, to give back. And as he stood tall, looking at what he had built, he realized something powerful. This was only the beginning. Looking back, his journey wasn't just about money or recognition. It was about transformation. The lessons were clear. Failure isn't the end, it's the foundation. Discipline may not bring results overnight, but it guarantees growth. Courage doesn't mean you're never afraid. It means you keep moving forward despite the fear. His story teaches us that success is not built on luck, but on persistence. That every no can be fuel for the next yes. That rock bottom isn't a curse, it's a platform. And most importantly, it proves that the American dream is not a myth. It's real, it's alive, and it's waiting for anyone bold enough to chase it. So if you feel stuck today, if you feel like your own life is weighed down by failures, remember this: the story isn't over. Sometimes the lowest point is simply the turning point to something greater. So what does this story truly tell us? That the American dream isn't reserved for the lucky few. It's for anyone bold enough to rise after falling, to keep going when the world says stop, and to believe when no one else does. Your rock bottom doesn't define you. Your response to it does. And maybe, just maybe, the very struggles you're facing right now are shaping the strength you'll need for your breakthrough tomorrow. Remember this: legends aren't born at the top. They're made in the silence of late nights, in the tears of rejection, and in the courage to try one more time. And now it's your turn. Your story is still being written. What will your legend be? If this journey inspired you, don't just keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs hope today. Subscribe to Legend Made Here, because this is where real struggles turn into timeless stories and ordinary lives become extraordinary legacies. Your legend starts now.